It's blue blood versus new blood as Alabama faces Cincinnati in the semifinal Cotton Bowl. The Tide making the playoff for the 7th time in its 8 years of existence, trying to become the first team to repeat in the playoff era. The Bearcats, meanwhile, the only remaining unbeaten in college football, and they've already made history, becoming the first Group of 5 program to make the playoff. But Luke Fickell says they have much, much more to accomplish.
We don't want to think we're carrying some flag for, the non-big schools, so to speak. We just want to be us.
Despite Cincy's Cinderella label, they were in a better spot to make the playoff than Alabama entering Championship Saturday. The Tide were underdogs for the first time in 6 years heading into the SEC Championship game, and that was all the motivation they needed to play their best game of the season.
Rice has tons of time, looks long, throws. Jamison Williams behind the defense. He's got it. Touchdown, Alabama! What a throw, what a catch.
The rat poison that you put out there this week was yummy.
After shredding a Georgia defense that many called one of the best units of all time, the Cincy defense has their work cut out for them, trying to slow down Bryce Young and the great Tide offense. It's 1 versus 4 and a trip to the national championship game on the line New Year's Eve in Arlington. Number 1 Alabama favored by 13.5. We're going to get picks for this game in just a second. Brady Quinn is with us along with Barrett Sallee, who joins us from Jerry World side of the game tomorrow night. Before we get to those picks, got to start with players who you guys think are the most NFL ready right now. We know with Alabama, they always have a bunch of players on both sides that are ready to hit the ground running in the National Football League. Barrett, interesting to see Ryan Wilson's latest mock because there are no Bama defensive players in his first round mock. That probably has a lot to do with the fact that their best player is not eligible yet.
Correct, and he's their most draft ready right now because Will Anderson would be on Ryan Wilson's list if he were draft eligible. The dude is a monster. We know this. We've seen this really for the last year and a half because he did come on late in that season last year when they won the national championship. But Will Anderson getting after the quarterback, honestly, there might not be a better defensive end or edge player in the NFL right now. He is that good. So, no, Will Anderson is not eligible. He would be on Ryan Wilson's draft board if he were, and he absolutely will be there next year. I'm talking about potential top 10, maybe even top 5 pick because he's the heart and soul of an Alabama defense that really has to shoulder way more of the load this year than it has in years past.
And he has somehow convinced himself that Alabama's the underdog this week against Cincinnati, though Bama's favored by 13.5. Got to give him credit for those mind games. That the best do that and do it well. Michael Jordan, to be specific. Let's move on to the Bama offense, Brady. There's one player in Ryan Wilson's first-round mock. That's who you're going with.
Yeah, Jamison Williams, the outstanding wide receiver that was a transfer from Ohio State. And really what makes him NFL ready is elite speed. He may be the fastest of this wide receiver class, but look, everyone in the NFL is looking for a separation, or the ability to separate. He's playing in an NFL-style system for their offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, and what they do every single game is try to put him in different positions to find the matchup they want and get him the football. So he's run a variety of routes. His route running has continued to improve. His hands have improved since being at Ohio State. And then he's got the speed. And then that's really something that you can't really teach. I mean, you can talk about running form all you want, but this sort of game-breaking type speed is unique, and it's what makes him the most draftable. And again, I talked about this with Georgia. Brock Bowers, their tight end, who's not draft eligible yet. You probably can make a case for that. I would say Bryce Young, you'd make a case for that. He's not draft eligible yet. Evan Neal, their tackle, will be drafted probably high, probably not first round, but potentially second, third round, somewhere there based on what the tape looks like. But the reality is, of this talented offense, it's Jamison Williams that's the most draftable right now.
And right now he goes 11th in Wilson's mock. He's the only skill position player in Ryan Wilson's first-round mock. I did leave out Evan Neal, who is in Ryan's first-round mock as of now. Let's move on.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.